Now I'd like to ask you some questions about your life, Susan. You might find them very personal, but it's important that you answer me as honestly as possible.
Fine. Let's get it over with then, shall we? I'd like to go home at last.
Of course, I understand. So, Susan, let's see. Are you living alone at the moment?
I live on my own, and it suits me just fine. I don't need anyone. People mostly bore me. Sometimes they annoy me or upset me. I'm happy with how things are at the moment. I have my little bit of space, and it's my own. It's private. I'd like to keep it that way.
What do you do for a living?
I'm between jobs at the moment. I'll find something soon. But it's been difficult. I didn't feel that great. I felt weak and powerless and tired most of the time. I felt really awfully tired.
Typical depression symptoms. We can give you something for that. You'll feel stronger and motivated.
I admire your faith in modern medication, Doctor. I hope you're right.
Describe to me what your mornings look like. What is the first thing you do each day?
I go to the toilet. Doesn't everyone?
Fair enough. What is the next thing you do then?
Oh, I don't know. I just muddle through, I guess. Don't think there's any routine to it. It depends how I feel that day.
Would you say that you feel safer at home than outside?
Not really. I don't feel that safe at all. How can you feel safe these days anyway? You can be living next door to a murderer who'll blow your head off for a bit of fun. Local kids have set an old man on fire the other day. They filmed him as he burned to his death. I knew this woman. She slipped on a wet bathroom floor, cracked her head open, and broke a leg. She lied there bleeding for 2 days, unable to move. By the time they found her, it was already too late.
Susan, taking risks is a part of life. What do you think is missing in your life? Or rather, what is one thing that you think would make your life better?
A good friend. Someone I could finally trust. But I can't see anyone will turn up anytime soon. I've become a social hermit. People avoid me.
You'll have to try to open up a bit. Hopefully the Suicide Watch worker will work with you on that.
Don't think it'll help much. I heard they're not very good.
Really? Sorry to hear that. Have you ever attended group therapy for depression or some other form of counseling?
Yes, it didn't help much, as you can see.
Just something to think about. I can see you're really willing to open up and talk about your issues. That's a positive sign.
I haven't really talked about my feelings for a long time.
You're doing very well so far. Do you have problems sleeping?
Rarely. I sleep well most nights. If anything, I probably sleep too much.
Would you describe for me how you feel at the moment?
I feel like the whole world is against me.
Do you find it hard to concentrate?
No, not really.
Do you drink alcohol, Susan?
No,
That's good. Alcohol is a powerful depressant.
I never really liked drinking.
Excellent. Sometimes, when life gets too much and people feel sad or upset, they think about suicide. Do you often think about suicide?
Yes, I think about it often. But now, I know I can't do it. Still, it won't just go away that easily. I need more time. I need to think it through. I need to find my peace with the world, I guess.
Please, in your own words, try to explain to me, why did you really try to take your own life, Susan?
Nothing was making me happy anymore. There wasn't a single thing that would bring a smile to my face. I kept thinking, won't it be better if I just disappear? I tried. I really tried to find something. Took a long bath, picked up a book, watched some television, but I just couldn't get into anything. All those things seemed like worthless distractions, and I myself felt obsolete, needless. It just would get worse and worse. By the afternoon, I realized I cried for the past 3 hours. I didn't even know I'd been crying until I went to the bathroom and saw my face in the mirror. I looked like a ghost. I looked like I was dead already, you know? And then I saw the sleeping pills. I thought, why not? And I did it.
Do you feel as if you're a burden, or that life isn't worth living?
Not anymore. It's strange, but I feel lighter. I feel stronger. Besides, I live alone. Who could I be a burden to?
What makes you feel better?
My cats. I always put out a bowl of food for the stray cats. They're ever so grateful. I like their company.
What makes you feel worse?
Loneliness. I wish I had someone to talk to sometimes.
And yet you seem to avoid people.
Because they're only interested in themselves.
Not all of them, surely. I'm beginning to think you are actually afraid of finding a friend because it would force you to come out of your shell.
Call it what you like. I'll sure be glad when I find the right person someday.
Have you imagined your funeral and how people will react to your death?
Probably nobody would come anyway. Can you imagine it? Now that's a sad picture. Loved by no one. Missed only by some cats. No tears shed for me. No flowers on my grave. But that's okay. I never liked flowers. I wouldn't miss that.
Finally, I'd like you to tell me about Eric.
Eric?
Yes, your husband. I believe this might be important. What can you tell me about your relationship? What had happened between you two?
This has nothing to do with him. Can I go home now, please?
Fine. I suppose you've opened enough for one day. Okay, one more question. This is just a formality, but I have to ask, are you going to do it again?
That's a hard one. I don't know. But hey, I've got it. The answer is no, I'm not. Thank you very much.
Excellent. We are nearly done here. There's just one more thing I must clear with you. What exactly happened last night?
Well, After I'd met you outside the ward yesterday, I went back to my room and fell asleep. I slept really well, considering what happened earlier. But then someone woke me up. It was the same nurse who was so friendly with me the first night. She said we needed to talk.
We must go, Susan.